Hello and welcome to What Moves Us Express,
Or alternatively, what doesn't move us?
a daily podcast throughout this disrupted season
Brought to you from sunny Brighton and
at Nine Elms in London.
Hi Liam,
Hi Johannah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Much better. I
Much
was
better
not.
because I was going to say because people might not notice that we haven't recorded for a few days. Why is that?
I had Auntie COVID come to visit for about 10 days.
So,
So
so,
I had full coronavirus experience and thankfully I'm now done with that.
and you look very well, I have to say.
Thanks very much. I wore a shirt today especially.
I did notice you dressed for the occasion. And why did you dress for the occasion? Who have we got with us today?
Oh, hi, I'm Jo Reid. I'm Managing Director of Calvium, and we're a digital technology agency, and we tend to combine our expertise in experience design, software engineering, mobile expertise and innovation to create bespoke software solutions for a range of clients such as Rolls-Royce, Battersea Power Station and the City of London. And we've also actually created some of our own research innovations. We're very passionate about looking at supporting people with inclusive needs, and actually for the rail sector we created our own Innovate UK funded programme to try to help people with neurodiverse conditions to help navigate in train stations, and that was called Navster.
Napster. And what is the would people have seen Napster anywhere?
Well, we certainly had it available for user tests and trials. And my colleagues, Dr. Joe Morrison and Richard Hull, socialised it at a number of innovation and rail groups. And so we've certainly sought to try to put it in front of as many people in the sector as possible. And that has gone well. But sadly has halted due to the pandemic and obviously the big change in what's going on. So that productive series of talks to kind of show the value that was established by the groups who tried it out, the need that was again confirmed about how important it was to make large spaces far less intimidating, less frightening, to entice people out onto rail and to be able to use it. It was certainly proven. And the solution itself looks to be robust and scalable. And so again, it was our hope is that we can continue those conversations to see whether we can then start to scale it out, to trial it out in other stations if possible.
All right. Was that your first foray into rail type projects?
It was. I think before our main focus and clients has been in the aerospace sector, and certainly there we do a number of projects with Rolls-Royce in affiliated services around kind of logistical solutions or just process improvement engineering solutions.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you've that the project is pretty much halted at the moment due to the COVID situation. Has your business been impacted greatly by what is going on in the shutdown, and how are you coping with that?
Well, I know that we're lucky in what we do because being predominantly a thinking company and a design company and a software company, we are able to work remotely and are used to working remotely. So in that regard, we could quickly move to a business as usual scenario. I think the main impact has been in re-establishing the relationship with clients. And then of course, for those clients we have in the heritage sector and the aviation sector, I mean, of course, they've been so severely impacted by this that there's inevitably some slowdowns in their priorities and and so forth. So I think the main impact has been just in inevitable delays in some of the projects that we're doing in, or difficulty in clients signing off, and because of all of the other pressing needs that they have to work on. But in terms of what we can do day to day and how the team's rallied and moved to remote working, that's all great. Whilst we miss having that kind of human contact, our daily stand-ups continue with the remote format. We certainly already have a kind of autonomous culture of being able to be independent workers, so that all works well. So our productivity can continue and our projects can continue.
I think third week in, I'm finding that lack of social interaction quite tough. I wasn't minding it the first couple of weeks, but now I'm kind of missing it.
Yes, definitely. I think I think we'll all really appreciate those precious times when people can connect together, and you can, it's all about the simple things, isn't it? And appreciating
it is, because it's not just, it's whilst video conferencing has kind of taken that place and we've all learned, it's just not quite the same, is it?
No, and also that grass is always greener about that idea of, wouldn't it be nice to work from home? It's like, well, actually,
you still
thing.
Still like to see people and speak to people and see their faces properly and everything.
Yeah.
So in terms of you've worked, your client base is obviously having a lot of challenges at the moment. So what are you doing as a business to repivot yourself and ensure that you still remain relevant as a business during this time?
Yeah, so again, I think what we are doing is making sure that we continue the follow through with our committed projects, because again, our clients have gone away. Hopefully they're just dormant for a bit and will come back. And so again, I want to make sure that the company both seeks out new opportunities during this period, because new opportunities do arise out of crisis. And I think the kind of skills we have in being able to think broadly, understand quickly requirements and be able to rapidly develop solutions is a key useful skill for today's time. So again, the challenge is in remoteness of being able to make sure we can connect up with people who can use those skills. And so part of it is kind of keeping our commitments going, being really rapid in our replanning, understanding how to kind of do our forward scheduling to make sure that we can keep the momentum going, whilst also recognizing that we do need to look for different opportunities in sectors who aren't as severely impacted by what is going on. And there are some promising signs and some interesting new connections opening up. So I think that's all good.
So have you got anything you can share with us that you're working on at the moment that has seen those new opportunities? Well,
actually, one of the things we are doing, because as I mentioned, we recognise that part of the impact is actually delays in some projects. And so what has happened is that whilst our team is productive, we do have some gaps and capacity. And also, of course, like everybody, we've all been listening out to the wonderful kind of grassroots initiatives and things that came up. And so actually, we responded to a call that came out for people who might be able to develop a platform to support an initiative that was one of the early grassroots initiatives with a company we're working with called OR, and one of their founders and also has a company called Nagami that in Spain that was one of the first to do these 3D printed face shields to kind of address the shortfall in PPE for people on the front line. And they turned their robot automation furniture making 3D factory into complete face shield production. So have been producing around 500 masks a day and hand delivering them to Spanish hospitals. And because that they also have links over in the UK, they're saying, well, actually, the UK's got this critical need now as well. How do we do it? So what they were finding is whilst they could do this, it's actually quite difficult then to manage all the, the demand, the supply and everything else and keep all these grassroots going. So I thought, of course, a platform would be ideal. And it is the kind of thing we do. And of course, like everybody else, if there's a chance to actually help the situation, it is lovely. So we've taken that on as a good, as a hope to get something out quickly. We hope to have an alpha version ready for the people in that team and Nagami to try out. We've been working with them because obviously they've got the first-hand experience of what happened in Spain, what's worked, are keeping abreast of the other, of all the initiatives that you hear about all the time coming along. We're hoping minimally that it will have some immediate use, so that we'll trial it in Bristol and London and see, whether it scales up, and kind of just opens out a very kind of goodwill way of putting people with need in contact with people who want to make, and people who can transport that and make it an easy, I've got this, I need this, I want that, so that it's as easy as picking tickets up on a board and hooking them all together.
And we've been hearing a lot about that actually it's not necessarily supply that's a problem, it's a logistics problem, isn't it?
Exactly. So again, trying to do our bit to try to help those people who are trying these initiatives to smooth the logistics problem, and make it a very easy to use platform for people to do. So that's one of the projects that we stepped up to start doing as part of this. We don't know where it will go, but obviously in the short term, it's all about, can we really help?
Now, unfortunately, we are coming to the end of our Express What Moves Us,
Yeah.
but one final question to close is, if the government could do one thing for you as a business at the moment, what would you be asking them to do?
Well, yeah, I guess relatively speaking, we're okay. So I think the speed at which they could bring up the schemes that they're talking about, so speeding up the availability of furlough, straightening out some of the questions, so having more ready access to knowledge pool of workers, for especially for small businesses, those kind of connector services to help bring them up could just help, I believe. So I think people have different needs, and for us it's just managing the onslaught of different schemes and information that's coming on, and wanting to do the right thing for your staff. So again, any help in that area is
it's complex, isn't it? And it's difficult to get your head around it, and just sort of as things are changing every day, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And I've forgotten what I was going to say. What was I going to say, Liam? Liam, help me out.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Jo. I think that's what she was trying to say.
And it's been really interesting to hear as well about how you've redeployed your team to work on something completely different, and an inspiration, I think, to some of our other startups in our community. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.